We got the game. It's called Shot Stopper. I don't know if you're a drinker. Are you a drinker?
Yeah. Whiskey.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Listen.
Yeah.
So we got a little game called Shot Stopper, and obviously talking about athletes and people of a level like we was talking about before. Your subtitle for Shot Stopper is the athletes of our time. Okay.
Yeah.
So Shot Stopper is a game where we involve alcohol.
Yeah.
You don't drink, I will take your shot for you. I'm like designated shot taker. So I'll put two names up.
Okay.
So let's just say behind me, we were going to do boxing ones, right? We were going to do Robert Duran versus Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yes.
You pick. So if you say Robert Duran, great. If you can't pick, it's a shot.
Okay.
All right?
Let's go.
So be kind. Because it's a Thursday night, Friday, I wouldn't have minded. But
Let's go.
so here we go. So this is Shot Stopper.
All right.
Athletes of our time. Right, this is for Mike Edwards. Here we go. So Michael Jordan or Serena Williams?
MJ.
Why MJ?
He's just revolutionized the whole aspect of sports, if I'm on the court and off the court.
Okay. Do you know what? We've put my MJ so early that it's just going to be like MJ, and you're a basketball man, aren't you?
Come on now.
Okay. Here we go.
MJ or Usain Bolt?
Michael Jordan. And the reason why I would say Michael Jordan, because he outlasted his sports career. I don't think we talk about Bolt as much as when he was after his retirement, and I feel like that goes to show, in terms of like being more than an athlete. I'm sure he's wrecking it up in deals, but I feel like transcending the sport outsiders, Michael Jordan has just been by far the greatest example.
God, yeah. When you think of Space Jam, just alone. And
everything, man.
Mate, well, even The Last
It's like
Stand.
pop culture, everything.
Well, my missus is not into sport at all, but watching the documentary on Netflix about him, she was hooked. She was like, wow,
He
this
gets
is amazing.
his mentality, everything.
Yeah.
It's just a gift. He's just a gift.
Before we carry on, is Michael Jordan going to beat everyone on this list? If he is, I might chuck him out.
You're going to have to.
Okay.
Yeah, because we did the mistake with my dad. We went Muhammad Ali, or he's like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put him out.
Let's start again, but we'll start with.
We'll start. Okay, Serena Williams or Usain Bolt.
Serena Williams.
Okay, why?
I'm a fan of her work ethic. I feel like we're not throwing any shade at Bolt. I just feel like he was one of those that was God. His talent was God given, and he's blessed beyond this world. But I don't know if he enjoyed the work as much as he enjoyed the life.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say, Serena, because she just dedicated her whole life to it.
Okay.
Serena or Tom Brady?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with that one's a tie. Reason why I would say that's a tie.
That's a shot.
Oh, that's a shot. That's a shot. Oh, okay.
Thanks, mate.
That's a shot. That's how it goes.
Reason why?
Okay, the reason why I would say that was a tie is because Tom Brady came into the NFL with one of not the highest draft pick, not the fastest, not the strongest, not the quickest, but he ended up becoming a 7-time world champion. How do you do that? And I feel like he is probably one of the greatest athletes of our generation with not as much talent as base talent, so to say, not talent, base talent as others. Like he's probably one of the slowest at the time in the combine when he was doing NFL combine. But I feel like it goes to show you it's what you do with your tools. And I feel like he was able to utilize his strengths to the 10th power. And now Serena also, was one of those came from the inner city of LA, didn't have all the resources, came, showed up every day, worked relentlessly, had a family supporting, and her sister, and became one of the greatest, if not the greatest athlete of all time. So like they're both goats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they gotta be ties, but I gotta see the shot.
Well, here's the shot to Serena Williams and Tom Brady.
Gotta give them respect, man. I can't divide them.
Okay,
So we start fresh now.
so we start fresh.
Okay.
Simone Biles
Ooh.
or Lionel Messi? I'm going to do so many shots. I can feel it.
Simone Biles. I'm not a football guy. I know he's the greatest football player, but I'm going to say Simone Biles. Just for me, I feel like her story, and for her to have her own move in the Olympics and to be recreating the Olympics is just like, yeah, out of this world. She has the world like on her fingers, and I know Messi as well. He was able to capture the World Cup, this past World Cup, and I know he's just a phenomenal football player. But for me personally, not being a huge football fan, I would feel like Simone has been a bit more of a I don't know. People are probably going to just all in the comments of this, but I just don't feel I don't have that football passion enough to be able to divide them. So I would say Simone, just because of what I've seen her do and create her own stunts in one of the oldest sports.
Okay.
Simone Biles or Kobe Bryant?
I would say I'm going to say Simone Biles.
Wow.
I'm going to say Simone Biles. And yeah, I'm going to leave it as that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it as that.
Right. Simone Biles or Pele?
Pele.
Why?
I'm going to say Pele because the generation is so much harder for someone from his background to be able to come into the league and dominate so gracefully. I feel like Pele is an example of humility, skill, talent, and whole lot of relentless. And I feel like his talent has survived the time. And I feel like, you still have to put him in the conversation when you talk about the greats of all time. And he was doing this with the conditions he was in, the hardship he had to face to, being a black man and to be, as great as he was, and, probably had to go through a lot of things that weren't publicized, but, to do that with grace and to be still up there in this conversations with these Messis, and it's just, to me, it says enough.
Okay.
Wait, with me?
Yep.
Oh, Pele or Roger Federer?
Pele, still Pele.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pele or Michael Phelps?
I would say Michael Phelps.
Right.
I would say Michael Phelps.
Why?
He's the greatest. He's the greatest Olympian, sports. Swim. I feel like Michael Phelps has broken and changed the mold of his discipline, and I feel like he's done it in a style of which I don't think it could be ever repeated. There's no similarity. There's no one else on a similar stratosphere. Like with Pele, you know, we people still butt names or associate. You can't put another name with Michael Phelps. He just stands alone.
The Felpedo.
Yeah, so I think because of that, he's just like, class of his own, league of his own.
Okay. Michael Phelps or Carl Lewis?
Michael Phelps still.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Michael Phelps. I like Carl Lewis. But yeah, I feel like you saying well, even still, I think Michael Carl Lewis has more world championships than Usain Bolt. I think something like that.
I think so as well.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Right. So Michael Phelps or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
the reason why, because I like how he's able to. He's bigger off the pitch.
Right.
I like athletes that are able to dominate on both sides. I feel like Michael Phelps is a lad. He's just like,
Yeah.
We don't, you know what I mean? That's how I see him. I just feel like he's done it, been there, done it. He just wants to enjoy and just kick back. And I feel like, you know, not everyone has that. That's why you got to put Michael Jordan up there, because he still wants to win. Mm-hmm. Not everyone always, because winning is hard and it's temporary. You don't own winning.
No.
Winning is something that you have to pay your dues for every day. And some people just, I'm tired of winning now, man. I just want to, you know what I mean? But Michael Jordan, he will now go into NASCAR. He will now go and do this, be on the football. You know what I mean? He's now in the football. He's just a winner.
Yeah.
Through and through, man. And I think that's kind of like, you got to respect that, man.
So Michael Jordan still wipes these lot.
Come on. Yeah, he's just a winner. You could never put Michael Jordan and expect me to take him off the list. No way.
All right. Ronaldo or LeBron James?
LeBron.
Yeah. We're talking to a basketball man here, aren't we?
Yeah, and I feel like he's got. They're both doing their thing, but again, I'm always got a soft spot for those that, you know, who came from single parent homes, from like, you know, subsidized housing, and, you know, being at the top, being scrutinized, being in the limelight since he was 16 years old till 40 is not an easy job. 16 to 40.
Yeah.
Name another person that's done that except for Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That's
You
crazy
get what I
when you
mean?
think about that.
So yeah, it's LeBron.
I enjoyed Space Jam 2 as well. I quite liked it.
That's
thought it was good.
It's LeBron.
LeBron, yeah. LeBron's basically like the man, isn't he? Okay, so LeBron James or Tiger Woods?
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, LeBron. The reason being is, it's unfortunate because I'm a big fan of Tiger Woods. But you know, if we're looking at body of work, and obviously that also includes on and off the pitch. It's just, you know what I mean, like, you know, like, he's human. I get that, and don't get me wrong, I love that. Like, he's unapologetic and he's just raw. He's like, you know what I mean, he will be in the media and he will still show up and do the work. You know what I mean? I love that about Tiger Woods, and he's got a dark side and he'll do what he's got to do. But, you know, but I feel like LeBron is surely just as much as been, you know, enticed or whatever. I just feel like he's just an epitome of like world-class athlete, world-class family man.
Yeah. Period.
World-class, you know, just world-class. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I feel like he exemplifies all of that. And I feel like Tiger still is a class act, you know, he just Tiger, you know?
Yeah.
He's just Tiger. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for what they're doing right now, him and his son. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is like, that has never been done like that before. I think it's about the father and son generation now. It's LeBron and his son, but this Tiger and his...
Take notes, innit?
This is wild.
Right. Crazy.
This is wild what we're watching. And it's exciting for sports.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got LeBron James or Maradona.
I know he's Argentina lad, isn't it?
Okay.
He's the one that how many World Cups did he win?
Oh, mate, he won World Cups on his own. He was crazy.
Yeah, I know he's huge because I know he's like Messi and Maradona. I know, but I didn't grow up watching enough. But I do know who he is. I do know what he stands for. So I would say, from what I know, LeBron.
Yeah.
I just going with LeBron. Yeah.
So LeBron James or Javier Sotomayor?
Wow. Oh, you said it good, too.
We've been practicing all day.
Oh,
Espanol.
Well, look, man. He's the world's best. He's held the world record for probably the longest standing world record in track and field history. He did it from Cuba with hardly any resources and finances. He's probably not a wealthy guy. And I got to give it to him. He's like, again, I know I stress about you got to be big outside of sport and everything like that, but this is a man that I watched religiously growing up and seeing how, his statue he stood for, whatnot. I just feel like it's inspiring. It's changed my life. So I would say Sotomayor, due to the respect and the homage I have for him.
Yeah.
I said that. You could have watched him a million times.
Yeah.
I said that. Sotomayor, man.
Well, right. This one's mental.
Sotomayor or Muhammad Ali.
Oh, wow. Muhammad Ali, man.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. I would feel like Javier would even tell you Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And that's with obvious reasons, man. What Muhammad Ali did, and it was just bravery. You know what I mean? He stood for more than all the models that we see now is based off Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? He was a poet. He was a fighter. He was an activist. He was a family man. He was
The greatest.
he was the greatest of all time, and I feel like, he will be spoken about for the rest of humankind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's
Godlike.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like and the thing is, he doesn't have the perfect record. He didn't win all his fights, but he still is the greatest, and no one can argue that.
No.
That's what I love about, you know what I mean? That's the respect. He's just I'm fortunate that I was able to just be in the same vicinity as one of his children. I went to University of Louisville in college, and I know one of his sons played baseball at the university there, and obviously being in Louisville, he's just kind of like the Louisville lip. It was still, you know what I mean? Like, he still had his imprint around the city, and it was just cool to know, like, you know what I mean? Like, growing up, my mom, everyone in my family, we just was always big, huge Muhammad Ali fans, and I'm just proud that, you know what I mean? Like, in this lifetime, I just was able to just kind of draw inspiration from him and then still utilize it in today's form in boxing some way. I still watch his stuff, and now I'm watching it differently. So it's cool, you know what I mean? You see, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like the repetitions and, like, you know what I mean? Like the flow and the footwork. You couldn't watch millions and millions of hours of film on Muhammad Ali. You still won't be able to do anything what he does. And I think that's what, like, I've been able to mimic many other athletes in my life, but that's the person that don't matter how much film study you do, you will never be able to move like Ali. And I think that's just the coolest thing.
Well, look, I'm going to give it to you now, because Michael Jordan basically won, but Muhammad Ali was the end winner of your shot stopper. So Michael Jordan or Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali.
Really? Wow.
No
okay, so there was
hesitation.
one that got rid of him.
Yeah, there's no athlete that I feel outside of Muhammad Ali that you can compare to. You know, Michael Jordan was not a he was not an activist. He didn't want to get into social issues. He didn't want to speak out on behalf of like the community. He was a baller and he was a billionaire. That's why MJ is still the great, and he likes to win. He loves to win. But Muhammad Ali was willing to lose everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's to me is like, again, what makes him so profound. He was willing to go everything to not prove a point, but to fight for what he believed in. Yeah. And I feel like that's bravery. That's true strength. And again, we talked about the warrior in the beginning, and I feel like you know what I mean, that delusion of knowing, like, you know what, this is what I believe is right. You can take everything away from me. And it's almost like that Bob Marley effect as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you feel like, you know, I think he said in the interview, he was like, the guy said, are you a rich man? He said, what do you mean rich? When you say rich, what do you mean rich? Is rich possessions? Is that what you consider to be rich, a rich man? And he said, well, yeah. And he said, well, no, I wouldn't consider that to be rich, but I'm aware. And he when he said it, he made me think, and I was like, you know what? He's figured it out. The true essence of freedom and living, and, you know, understanding, you know what I mean, like your purpose, and like your what like this like ride of life we're in. And there's an essence in Bob Marley and Muhammad Ali and all these greats that, you know what I mean, they never had the number billion next to them, or billionaire, but they were just full of, you know what I mean, like
rich
wealth.
in life.
Yeah, and
Rich
I feel
in
like
life.
that's it, you know.
Well, look, we're talking about Muhammad Ali. Let's touch on your boxing career.